everything that we want exists in the present moment. Being in a state of flow exists in the present moment. Being in the zone exists in the present moment. Being from a leadership standpoint, the connection that you have to create with the people that you're leading exists in the present moment. You want to show up with empathy, that exists in the present moment. Everything that we want as a leader, as a high performer, as an entrepreneur exists in the present moment. We either change because we're in so much pain or because we have a compelling vision. We're either pushed by pain or we're pulled by a compelling vision. You know, when you can't get out of bed till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes you're pushed to make a decision, even if it doesn't seem rational. And so I was watching I Am Not Your Guru with Tony Robbins, and they asked him, why do you keep doing this? And he said, I have an insatiable desire to alleviate suffering for as many people as I possibly can in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. And I just started to cry like crazy because that gave my pain and suffering purpose, because I knew that everything that I was learning, the internal skills, the emotional resilience, the self-awareness, all of these things, I was building this massive toolkit that I would be able to take and then teach to other people. I brought a kid with me one year to watch Steph go through a pregame workout, a kid that was working with our basketball company. The conversation that unfolded between this kid and Steph, Steph put a ton of time in on the court. He's passionate about the game, but he didn't define his self-worth by his performance on the basketball court. He was having this conversation with this kid about friends, about school, about his family, other interests outside of basketball. And I realized that Steph defines his self-worth by the totality of his human experience, by how he is as a husband, a father, an activist, an entrepreneur. And that takes pressure off him when he steps out on the court. If he goes 1 for 10 from the 3-point line or 9 for 10 from the 3-point line, when he walks off the court, he's going to feel the same way about himself. The standards and the expectations that we place on ourselves that help us get to the top can also be the things that make us fall off the mountain.
Absolutely.
And so I think, it sounds counterintuitive that we would place our identity in a variety of things, but it actually, I think it makes us better in all areas. And it's a tough thing. What's really tough is when you're so passionate about something, to separate yourself from it. We're so intertwined with our work, especially if you are an entrepreneur, and this business is something that you birthed, like it's your child. So it's really difficult to do that. But I think there's a lot of power in it when you do. One of my beliefs that I hold, and I truly try to apply this in everything that I do, and that's I know nothing, right? And it's coming from a place of humility, but also just complete detachment from expectations, from results, from material things, from relationships. And it's not that I'm not emotionally invested in things. I'm just psychologically try to detach from an expectation of an outcome, I guess is the best way to put it. Right? If we get super attached to a future outcome, that's going to drive our mind so far into the future that it takes us off of what we can actually control in the present moment. Right? And then if the outcome does not manifest and we are super attached to it, now we are stuck in the past and we're also out of the present moment. Getting clear on vision and getting clear on purpose, everything is driven from those two things. And I think when we get crystal clear on those, that can drive the process to bring those things to life. And I think, especially in today's world, getting crystal clear on your purpose and your why is just so, so important to get to the next level, to bring this vision to life. It is even more important to get clear on it for when you go through adversity. Because when you go through adversity, you need a vision to rely upon. You need a why, because you're going to get knocked down. Things are not going to go as planned. The strategy is not going to go from A to B, B to C, C to D like you had written out. Knowing your purpose allows you to focus on not so much be attached to the process of the impact, but the impact itself, if that makes sense. Try to operate with a beginner's mindset from the standpoint of try to let go of this identity that you had in the past and your passion from the past that maybe it's just simply no longer possible. Maybe it is an injury, that career-ending injury. It's just simply not possible anymore. Try to come from a beginner's mindset from the standpoint of just being really aware of what your interests are. You don't always have to be operating at this deeper level of purpose. But what you need to do is you need to operate with a deep level of intention with everything that you do. That takes a little bit of the pressure off. I think there's a lot of people in the self-help space, leadership space, everything. It's like, you got to find your purpose, find your why, right? And it's like, it comes when it comes. It's really important to give yourself the permission to not have it figured out yet. I feel like everything that I've done in my life has been, here was a pain point. I solved this, I figured it out, and now I'm teaching somebody else to go through the same thing that I went through. And so look at what are some pain points in your life? What are some things, what have you had to go through? What are the lessons that you've learned? And now how can I use this as a way, how can I teach others how to go through the same thing? Because if you went through it, somebody else went through it, and you probably have a unique perspective on it that is going to be able to connect with somebody else. And that's going to be fulfilling, right? Part of purpose is finding what's fulfilling. Well, what's fulfilling is being of service and helping other people out, right? So find a pain point that you want to solve, and then figure out how to go through it yourself and teach others to do it. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's all working out the way it's supposed to. To view every adversity as a catalyst for growth and not look at it as something that's happening to you, look at it as something that's happening for you, and lean into that challenge, that adversity with a growth mindset, because what you learn from that experience is something that you're going to be able to teach. And the more you become, the more that you can give. And if you're providing value for people, you're not going to have to worry about anything in your life.
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. And to stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast, and on Twitter at Catalyst_Action. And thanks for listening.